For Wall Street Media, I'm Mike, I'm here with Doug, and we'll help you make money in the stock market with information you can't find anywhere else.
Look at that. You remember how to speak English?
Yeah.
Did you get any practice
2 weeks
last
without.
couple of weeks?
A little bit here and there when you
not too
called, for
much.
example.
Yeah, that's about it, right?
Yeah, pretty much. So what happened in the market? What did I miss?
You didn't miss a whole hell of a lot, German. Pretty grim around here, right? I was walking in this morning, and probably a fifth of the stores that I saw were actually going out of business or had gone out of business.
Okay.
And it was another 5 or 10% of them were having sales, and an awful lot of the rest of them were closed. It was like coming through a ghost town this morning.
Is it because it's still holiday, kind of? It shouldn't be, right?
I think, I don't. It shouldn't be. It's certainly not German efficiency. That's for damn sure. But I think like when it falls on a Thursday, a lot of people sweep through and take the Friday as well.
Yeah.
You know.
I noticed that coming in and the subway was pretty much empty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oodles and oodles, mate. Oodles. Did you tune in? Did you buy DXO, or am I doing this for myself? Because guess what? I made a whole lot of money this morning on DXO. I told you to. If you listened, you made a whole lot too. If you didn't, maybe you should. I got that from StockTwits.
Okay, DXO is what exactly?
It's an oil ETF, right? Everyone trades USO, which I had done. Tyler and I, remember, traded UXO. But this is a double crude long.
Okay. All right.
And last
so
trade,
you made double the money.
last trade, 309. Told you to buy it. I bought a bunch at $1.82, $1.96.
Nice.
Yeah.
Great.
Guys, StockTwits is free. We don't get a commission on this, okay? That's where I got the idea from. USO is, I don't know, USO trades $30, $40, $50 a share, right?
Right.
Last trade, $35. DXO trades $3 a share, right?
Do you think oil is still a good thing to go in now?
I made 67% on it, right? And that was over like 10, 12, 14 days, whatever, right? So I kept adding to it, but I sold a bunch off just because that was such a big gain, you know? I'm holding on to a few shares now, but I expect the Gaza stuff to come to an end, there to be a dip, and then I'll buy back in again.
Okay.
I think oil's cheaper than it will be longer term.
Okay. So the long-term investor will still make a lot of money going into oil right now, even though it went up a little bit.
Yeah, for my long-term account, I still hold some DXO, which I thought was just fabulous. It's a double long. I thought oil was way too cheap, right? It's up 22% today. Right?
Great, and everyone can afford it, obviously.
Right, at that, right?
Right.
You know, I looked at some of the bear shorts, right? I tried to call the top of the market, which is always difficult. Today at 1:01 Eastern Time, missed it by a little bit, right? But I love these double and triple ETFs for making short or long calls, right? And what is it? It's BGZ, right? Is the large cap bear short, right? And I bought some of that today, right?
Okay.
And I expect that to go up, right? I'm in at 54. I averaged down all the way down to 54.04. And if you take a look now while we're shooting this, it's back up to 54.64. I think into the weekend there's going to be a sell-off, right? I don't think people are going to want to be, it's up almost 200 points today, right? The Dow is. And I don't think people are going to want to be that long going into the weekend, especially with like
Sounds
conflicts
weird, right?
in the Middle
That
East.
long going into the weekend. That's not really long.
Yeah.
But nowadays, everyone's afraid of the weekend.
You know? So I'm counting on an afternoon sell-off, and I'm hoping to pick up a couple of bucks. So I'm not going to hold it for forever. I'm not short for forever.
Okay.
But I think BGZ is a good afternoon trade if you guys see this one. If you don't, go to StockTwits.com, man. Good ideas, people telling you what, why, how, links to charts. The whole thing, it's fabulous. I found this to be an amazingly wonderful free community where I'm getting great ideas, you know.
Great.
DXO, I just made several $1,000s on today, and that's purely from StockTwits.com, right?
Perfect.
Or I'd been trading USO for since Tyler and I were in last March or April, right?
I
Made
remember.
a couple dollars, right? $50-some a share it was at that time, right?
But it's not completely bound to the oil price, right? The USO is. Or is it?
USO is and DXO is.
Okay.
They both are. They're both ETFs that are to oil. Now, USO is to New York crude, I believe, or Houston crude, right?
Okay.
DXO is to London crude. For my purposes, doesn't matter. I thought oil was too cheap, and I wanted to be long. And with a double long at $2 a share or $1.80 a share, it was, right? I thought that was just like a wonderful thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
Great.
And guys, Cast, I told you to buy some Cast before. They're up quite a bit today. That's China, the streaming company that streams for education. I think no matter how bad it gets in China, that people are going to. You got one kid,
and they're opening schools all the time over there,
right? And they're online. They just bought bricks and mortar. We were talking about, right? And I think no matter how bad the economy comes, the Chinese culture, they're giving the money to these kids for them to learn English like they do at ChinaCast, right?
Great.
And they're up quite a bit today. I went long. CHL, Chinese mobile phone company, right? Bought some options. January 10 calls I bought for them for next January.
Oh, all right.
And I think they're too cheap. They're sitting on, CHL's the underlying ticker for the options. I think they're too cheap. They're sitting on like $30 billion in cash so they can weather any downturn. And they just opened up to 3G in China. And I think, and they said that sales are obviously exploding for that, right? And they're doing very, very well from that.
Great.
You know, I'm trying to think of what else. I looked at Yum. I tried to find some options for Yum, right? I think they're gonna just keep doing incredibly well. Their CEO said
so.
Yeah, because of Asia. You get American accounting, but the Asian population and growth.
Okay.
You know, and the CEO says he thinks they can pick up 20% a year. Growth from Asia.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I told you I saw some of the Yum, I think it was Kentucky Fried Chicken I saw in Saigon, right? And, you know, that was a decent thing. And in China, we should ask your dad about that. He does a lot of business over there. But in China, you know, they say, like, Yum, the Pizza Huts are a very nice place to go have a business meeting and an afternoon tea and stuff, right? And their CEO says there's just, you know, unlimited expansion potential over there.
Great.
Yeah.
Perfect.
My Vietnamese company that I bought through E-Trade in Hong Kong at 44, sell scooters, last trade 57. That's nice, tidy little gain.
Awesome.
Right? God bless E-Trade and their 6 foreign markets. Tried to short Netflix today, gang. I signed up. I told you all Netflix were going to do great from Xbox. Turns out they have 18 science fiction movies total. And the new releases on Netflix through the Xbox that you can watch instantly now are Alien 3, 10 years old or so, right? Contact, terrible movie, 15 years old or so, right? Legend, which is actually a legend because it's now 30 years old or 20 years old, something, right? And there were all of 15 The Abyss, which I believe is from the 80s. Might be from the 90s, but it sure as hell isn't from the 20s.
See, I was under the assumption you would get all the movies that Netflix has digitally online. You know?
Conveniently, they didn't tell me I was only going to see 15 or 18 10-year-old movies when I signed up. And I don't think they told a lot of other people either. So I signed up, but I will be canceling that shortly, and I don't see the big upturn for them from Xbox. I did buy a little more Activision today, ATVI. Been playing Call of Duty over the holidays when I get a chance, right? 230,000 people online at a time playing Activision's newest release, Call of Duty. This isn't all of them. This is the newest one.
Those servers are running hot.
But 230,000 people at a time. They sold a lot of copies. Okay, I think just like the Chinese are not going to let castes suffer. I think especially with the one-child policy, right?
Right.
They're going to make
all
sure
that
that
kid's going into that kid.
He's gone. He's got 2 sets of grandparents, right? The 2 parents doesn't matter. They're gone, and they're up 7 or 8% today. And I think the same thing goes with Activision. I think people are buying the new Call of Duty. Times are tough. Whatever. I think they say the hell with it, and they're still bought the copy.
Because they're sitting like 50 hours a month in front of it anyhow.
Yeah, I really do think so. And, the hundreds of thousands of people that when I log in and see them confirm to me that, there's quite a few people that said the hell with the bad economy.
Okay.
And that's our wrap-up, guys. 2009, going to be interesting. You're going to need to be nimble, and you're going to need to be intelligent. Don't turn on CNBC. Those guys don't know what the hell they're talking about, and they don't own any stocks. German and I actually get up, work for a living, and we actually own the stocks.
The bad thing is they're actually talking the economy down. So somebody is listening to them, and that makes a big impact. It has a big impact.
Sure, it does, because then you walk out scared, even if you still have a job. and you walk past the shoe store, don't
Right,
say,
exactly.
you know what?
I don't need the shoes right now.
These are still
I don't know if
okay.
I can afford them.
And then the shoe guy, he doesn't go out
Right,
to dinner that
exactly.
night, and the restaurant guy suffers and he
Absolutely.
closes. You know, Mike and I, we were looking into starting a restaurant venture, and the realtor told me at the time, in August it was, right, that they had, we have 400 people
Right.
looking at the space, right? He couldn't be bothered to talk to the likes of us. Well, he calls daily now. Felix, how you doing, mate? But yeah, I'll talk to you after the show. That's his name. He calls every day. It turns out the other 399 people that were ahead of us, Mike, they didn't take the space.
Yeah, well, figures.
And so I think there's going to be a lot of that out there.
Okay.
Great to see you. I hope you had a wonderful
I
time
had
in
a great
Germany.
time in Germany.
Good.
Okay,
Super fantastic.
that's all we have. We're here every day at Wall Street Media. You can find us directly at wsmco.com. Thanks.